For thousands of years, healers have used plants to soothe our minds and our bodies. But you gotta wonder, was it all just folklore? Well, today we're diving into how modern science is unlocking the secrets of these ancient remedies and what it could mean for our super stressed out, sleep-deprived lives. Let's get right into it.
Does this cycle sound a little too familiar? That feeling of being totally wired, but at the same time you're just completely exhausted. And then when you finally crawl into bed, your brain just refuses to switch off. It is such a frustrating loop, and so many of us are caught in it. Well, you are definitely not alone. And what's so fascinating is that to solve these very modern problems, researchers are actually looking to the past. They're combing through thousands of years of traditional medicine to see what all that ancient wisdom can teach us today. Okay, now before we dive into the herbs themselves, there's one key idea we need to get our heads around: the adaptogen. Think of it like a really smart thermostat for your body. It doesn't just blast the heat or the AC, it helps your body adapt to stress, gently nudging your whole system back towards balance. It helps you normalize when things get kind of out of whack. So, keep that idea in your back pocket as we look at our first herb. Let's kick things off with ashwagandha. This is a real cornerstone of traditional Indian medicine, and for thousands of years, it's been used to help people manage stress and anxiety. So, does all that ancient wisdom hold up under a modern microscope? Well, to find out, researchers did something called a meta-analysis, which is basically a powerful study of studies. They pulled the results from 15 different trials with over 800 people, all to find one clear answer. When it comes to stress, does ashwagandha actually work? And wow, the results were pretty striking. On a clinical scale that doctors use to measure anxiety, people saw their scores drop by an average of 3.5 points. Now, to put that into perspective, that is a statistically significant reduction. It's a measurable easing of anxiety that goes way beyond just chance.
But, it wasn't just some number on a clinical chart. This is about how people actually felt. Using a different scale that measures your perceived stress in daily life, people reported feeling almost 5 points less stressed. That tells us the effect was real, and you could actually feel it. And here we see the biological proof in the pudding. Cortisol, which is the body's main stress hormone, also dropped significantly in the blood. This gives us a physical reason for those feelings of reduced anxiety. It's confirmation that it's not just in your head, it's literally in your hormones. But listen, good science is always about the complete picture. And it's really crucial to point out that while ashwagandha clearly helped with stress and anxiety, this analysis found it didn't significantly improve a person's overall quality of life. What that suggests is that it's a highly targeted tool for stress, not some magic bullet for general happiness. Okay, so what if your main issue isn't really anxiety, but just pure exhaustion? Well, let me introduce you to our second adaptogen, Rhodiola Rosea. People call it golden root, and this tough little plant has been used for centuries up in harsh Arctic regions to fight fatigue and just boost resilience. Now, to understand how rhodiola works, we got to take a quick look at the body's stress command center, known as the HPA axis. When your brain senses a threat, like a crazy deadline at work, it triggers this chain reaction, which ultimately tells your adrenal glands to pump out cortisol. That's what gives you that fight or flight energy boost. Now, that fight or flight response is great in short bursts, but the problem in modern life is that the alarm is always on. It's like the fire alarm is just constantly blaring in the background. And this leads to chronically high cortisol, which totally burns out the system and leaves you feeling drained. Rhodiola seems to act like a moderator for this HPA axis, helping to stop it from overreacting and keeping your stress response from just running wild. And the human trials really back this up. In these super high-pressure situations, like for students during exam season or doctors working those awful night shifts, studies have shown rhodiola can cut down on that feeling of burnout, improve mood, and even sharpen mental performance. It really is a classic fatigue fighter. So we've covered stress, we've covered fatigue. What about the big one, sleep? For that, let's turn to our final herb, valerian root. It's been used as a sedative since the times of ancient Greece and Rome. For valerian, we're going to zoom in on a really rigorous study from 2023. This was a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. That's the scientific gold standard, right? It means that for 8 whole weeks, neither the participants nor the researchers knew who was getting the real valerian and who was getting a simple placebo. So what did people say happened? Well, this graph here tracks their self-reported sleep quality. See how the placebo group scores kind of stay flat? But look at the valerian group. They show a steady, significant improvement over those 56 days. Basically, in their own words, they felt they were sleeping a whole lot better. But, okay, that's what people felt. Did the hard, objective data agree? To find out, they actually brought participants into a sleep lab. And yep, the results confirmed it. The valerian group got significantly more total sleep time, and they fell asleep faster, with a major drop in what scientists call sleep latency. So this wasn't just a feeling, it was a real, measurable physical change.
So, after looking at all this hard data on these 3 ancient plants, what's the big picture here? What's the modern takeaway?
Well, let's put it all together. You've got ashwagandha, backed by a really powerful meta-analysis for targeting stress and anxiety. You've got rhodiola, supported by a wide range of studies for fighting off mental and physical fatigue. And then you have valerian, proven in a gold standard clinical trial for helping you get to sleep faster and stay asleep longer. I think the most important thing to take away from all this is that these aren't just vague wellness trends. The science is showing us that these are specific tools for specific problems. It's all about moving beyond the folklore and matching the right ancient remedy to the right modern complaint based on solid, hard evidence.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating question for the future, doesn't it? As we apply more and more scientific rigor to these ancient traditions, we're not just discovering new treatments. We might be fundamentally changing our whole approach to health and medicine itself. What else are we going to discover when old wisdom meets new science?